Once upon a time, there lived an emperor who loved clothes more than anything else. He spent all his money on fine fabrics and elaborate outfits. The emperor had a different suit for every hour of the day. He cared little for his people or his kingdom. His only concern was his appearance.
Every day I will admire myself in the mirror for hours. I love to show off my latest outfits.
The emperor was vain and foolish. The emperor was intrigued by the rumors. He loved the idea of having clothes made of such unique fabric. He imagined himself wearing clothes invisible to those who were not as wise as him. The emperor decided to summon the weavers to his palace. He wanted to see this wondrous fabric for himself.
Your Majesty, we bring you a fabric like no other, visible only to the wise.
Yes, only the most intelligent can see its beauty.
The two swindlers arrived at the palace. They set up their looms but pretended to weave. They asked the emperor for the finest silk and the purest gold thread. They hid these precious materials and kept them for themselves. The swindlers worked day and night pretending to weave their magical fabric. The emperor sent his most trusted advisor to see the fabric. The advisor, not wanting to appear foolish, pretended to see the fabric and praised its beauty. He returned to the emperor, afraid to admit he saw nothing.
Your Majesty, the fabric is beyond words, truly magnificent.
Encouraged by his advisor's report, the emperor sent more officials to inspect the fabric. They too pretended to see the amazing fabric, fearing they would be considered unfit for their positions.
Look at these exquisite patterns and vibrant colors.
Yes, Your Majesty, it is truly a masterpiece.
Finally, the emperor himself went to see the weavers' work. The swindlers pretended to hold up the fabric. They described its exquisite patterns and vibrant colors. The emperor, seeing nothing, was terrified of being called foolish or unfit.
Ah, yes, I see it now. It is indeed beautiful, and the texture is just perfect.
He pretended to admire the fabric, praising its beauty and texture. The swindlers, sensing the emperor's fear, continued their charade. They pretended to cut and sew the fabric, miming dressing the emperor in a magnificent robe, a masterpiece of their non-existent craft.
Ah, yes, I can feel the softness of this exquisite fabric.
The emperor, caught in his web of lies, played along, pretending to feel the soft fabric on his skin. He announced a grand procession to show off his new clothes to his subjects.
Prepare for a grand procession. My people must see my splendid new clothes.
The day of the procession arrived. The emperor, wearing nothing but his undergarments, pretended to put on the magical robe. He walked under a canopy, proud and vain, believing himself to be the most magnificent sight in the kingdom. The crowd gathered along the streets, eager to see the emperor's new clothes. Everyone had heard of the extraordinary fabric, invisible to the foolish and unfit. No one dared to admit they saw nothing for fear of being considered unworthy.
Look at the Emperor's magnificent new clothes. Aren't they just splendid?
People gasped and pointed, praising the emperor's magnificent new clothes.
But the Emperor has no clothes.
The child's words broke the spell of silence. People began to whisper amongst themselves. The truth, spoken with the clarity of childhood innocence, spread through the crowd like wildfire. The emperor, hearing the child's words and the murmurs of the crowd, felt a chill run down his spine. He realized the truth. He was naked. The swindlers had tricked him. He felt a wave of shame wash over him. However, it was too late. The swindlers had already fled with the emperor's gold and silk, leaving him exposed in his vanity.
Oh, what have I done? How could I have been so foolish?
The emperor, humbled and humiliated, learned a valuable lesson that day. He realized that honesty is always the best policy.
Perhaps now our Emperor will be wiser and more humble.
He learned that true wisdom lies in recognizing one's own follies. From that day forward, the emperor ruled his kingdom with more humility and less vanity, always remembering the day he paraded naked before his people.